also the other host of the Hero Complex. Josh, if you guys aren't following me, people y'all should be. And then there's me. Y'all don't need to see that. Y'all know what I look like. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. We don't need to talk about it. Hey, Pastor Girl said, hey, family.
Tell him I said hello. He always dropping in my Instagram lives. He always he'll drop in like, hey, how you doing? And then I think he disappeared.
Don't you love him supporting Pastor?
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling him Pastor Batman because that's what he does. Like, he drops in.
I'm Batman.
Just drops in and he's gone. Where'd he go?
We're streaming on. Josh is about to start the stream on Twitch. And on...
We are streaming on Twitch as of this moment.
Okay, we are streaming on... I didn't even say, Jay. Oh, man, let's shout. We're streaming on Twitch, on the Hero Complex. On Twitch, you can see all four of our beautiful faces. On Twitch, you can also drop questions and comments, which is part of the reason I wanted to do this here on TikTok, because we are going to let you guys also be a part of this interview. You drop questions so we can ask Soverse. The king of the service, if you will, and anybody else, if you want to join the conversation, jump on the Hero Complex Twitch. Josh, you want to say the handle out loud?
It is the Quantum Traveler 1, actually. I have to switch it over. I haven't done that yet. But we are streaming on Twitch. I am live on TikTok at this moment. TT is live. We have a special guest host today, Jay Stowe the Tiger. Thank you for being here. And the reason we are all here today, we have the man, the myth, the legend, the king of the Soverse, Tyrone Jackson. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty well. Doing better. I was telling you earlier about how I had to wipe my hard drive. Note to everybody out there in the world. External hard drives are your best friend.
I have 4. I have 4.
Me too. I got 2 clouds. I have one strictly for Time Machine, and then like a 4 terabyte for the Summer Comics Universe, and then another one that's just like, it's my little filter. So like I just put other important stuff over to there that I know I'm gonna need.
Does anybody extremely disrespected in technological talk? I feel so disrespected. But what did you say to me?
Huh? So there's these little boxes that you take and you plug them into your computer. Some of them are plug and play, so you don't have to do much.
I have a hard drive. I know what that is.
Well, this one is outside the computer. I did that on my live last night on Instagram. I was like at the beginning of it, because people, Mutant Blue dropped in and then other people dropped in. They knew what was going on. So they were like, "Are you okay? You doing better?" And then my eyes were red too, so they probably either thought, I was high or it is Colorado. So they probably thought I was high. I was like, "No, I'm fine. My eyes red because of my allergies." But yeah, like I was just explaining things to him with just computer talking, and everybody's just sitting there like, "Wow, he's actually a computer nerd." Yes.
He does picture books. He also does work.
Real quick. Handle, you guys, is it Quantum Traveler 1 or the Quantum Traveler 1?
Just Quantum Traveler 1. Same thing as my TikTok.
That's where you will see all of our beautiful faces at the same time. You guys feel free to drop questions. Hey, Mama Badger, how are you doing? I know that's what I can.
We have Pastor Greg in the Twitch. Welcome in, Pastor Greg.
Pastor Batman.
I'm Batman. Come over there. Now, y'all know anything where the 4 of us get together, which this is the first time, but anything where the 4 of us get together, it is about to go down. Good time. We'll attempt to keep it Coco Melon. Who am I kidding? I'm lying. It will at least be PG-13 though.
Maybe.
So Pastor Greg just downloaded or reinstalled Twitch just for us. So,
oh man,
thank you, Pastor Greg. We appreciate it.
I love you, Pastor.
And again, why shouldn't you?
Yeah. You probably didn't have enough space on the back computer. That's what it is. They gotta take it off.
He had
Can't track your Joker and watch Twitch at the same time.
too many files of potential Robins that he needs to kidnap again.
I say that out of love, Pastor Greg, because I noticed that you always drop in my lives and then you just disappear. So now I'm gonna call you Pastor Batman for that.
It's official now.
It's official.
Official like a ref with a whistle.
Gotta get all now. You gotta get an all black cloth. Like you have to do that. It's all black. That'd be dope.
We just got to figure out a way to make his eyes ominous during the sermon. Just
Taneva's just disrespectful in the Twitch.
He's on wrestling.
He has a wrestling one?
Oh, yeah.
I did not see that. Oh man.
So Taneva's in the Twitch, and she said, "Oh my God, 3 of my favorite people," and then there's Jay.
yeah.
And Pastor Greg says, "Sorry, I will take Pastor Batman all day." So
That's what I'm talking about.
he is officially now Pastor Batman.
Pastor Batman.
Now we got to figure out. I know
And now you gotta log in to Twitch.
Got to figure out what we gonna say when he jumps in the stream.
Mm-hmm.
So those of you that are new to the Hero Complex, we're not professional. Well, we are, but we're not streamlined. It's raw, rough, and rugged. It's just a conversation between fellow people in the comic book community and in the nerd community, and we just like talking about comics, especially with people like Ty, who is the creator of an entire universe that is not the mainstream cookie cutter DC and Marvel. No offense to DC and Marvel, but I enjoy new stories when you get to learn new characters and new dynamics. And that's why we invited you a third time on the Hero Complex.
The universe was getting in the way.
It was.
As much as
Get out there.
I help contribute to the technical difficulties, we both know. We all know that ain't the truth. I'm just kidding.
Hold on.
iPad on success. Reality.
So, Ty, where can everybody find you?
Okay, so if you're looking for me, you can find me actually on Twitch, Soverse Games. Tomorrow I'm doing my first live on Twitch, Soverse Sunday, so you can find me up there too. Look for Soverse Games, look for the Orange Lion Head. You can also find me on Instagram at Sovereign Comics. Same thing on Orange Lion Head, can't miss it. I'm on TikTok, Sovereign Comics. It's a pattern, Orange Lion Head. Facebook, Twitter, even though Twitter is like, I only use it to post stuff here and there, like, hey, here's a picture. I don't get into debates. I don't do that on Twitter. But yeah, we're everywhere. Except for Tumblr. We're not on Tumblr. Anybody still use that?
I don't. No. I'm not sure.
I used to be on Tumblr when it was hot, but I stopped using that. But yeah, so mainly Instagram for sure. Like, you're always going to catch something on Instagram.
Yeah, don't you have, isn't there another one? I never knew it until like a week ago, but it's like Soverse Cosplays.
Yeah, Soverse Cosplayers Guild. So the way that works, right? I'm fortunate to have some amazing individuals who are cosplayers cosplaying my characters and bringing them to life.
Yes.
Taneva in the chat, she is Taneva. Yeah, she cosplays Kunoichi, which she holds the title for that. Like, anyone else comes with Kunoichi, I'm like, nice job. But go talk to her. She literally body painted all the straps and stuff, and I was just like, okay. Also, Jay's gonna be bringing Tuskegee to life, so I'm glad he's doing that. And there's Mutant Blue, who has Siphon and Pandora, and this other character named Trixie. Then there's SJ Slay's cosplay, who has Tectonica, and one of her characters that she's bringing into the universe, and other things like that. So it's like a little guild for everybody who cosplays Sovereign Comics characters or wants to get into it and has questions about it, or well, how can I cosplay a character? Like, just talk to me, talk to the board, because there is a board of folks who and they're usually the ones doing the recruiting. So they're, you reach out to Jay, so they're the ones doing the recruiting, because one thing we don't want to do is have a place full of gatekeepers and things like that for the cosplay world, because I see what a lot of cosplayers go through, because you're not skinny enough for this character, or you're not the right complexion for this character. To me, that's garbage. With the accent on over the A. So we try to make it a more welcoming environment for all cosplayers if you want to cosplay characters from Summer Comics Universe. And we have a lot. So there's a lot.
Well, and because there's been a rise, and Jay himself can actually speak on this, there's been a rise of cosplayers, especially through this pandemic and the quarantine and everybody having really nothing to do. So, and that just segues into the TikTok. When it came up, I said that like an old man, the TikTok. But when it actually gained some momentum, people actually saw other people doing it. So that just inspired them to have that creative outlet. So then you have people, you have this whole pool of people that are like, oh, I need characters. And then your company comes up. And companies like Black Sands, Concrete Comics, so on and so forth. And now they have different characters. They don't have to go with like Superman, Batman, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man. They don't have to go with the mainstays. They can go with stuff that, number one, is new. Number two, not many people are doing, so you can do your own personal like your. It's amazing to me.
You be the first one. Like Jason would be the first one who cosplays Tuskegee. Yungo's the first one who cosplays Siphon. Tanini was the first one who cosplayed Kunoichi. Everybody who's cosplaying my characters are first. But the cool part is, like, a lot of the stuff that they do, I'm bringing it into canon. Like, for instance, if you ever see the character Siphon, she has short shorts and her arms are out, mainly because of her powers. So her uniform was built around the way her powers were. And of course, Yungo's like, I'm not wearing no Daisy Dukes, shit, I'm not doing that. So she changed, she changed the pants and stuff, and I'm looking, I'm like, you know what? Okay, I can get behind that. So there's going to be a uniform change for that character. That's going to represent the actual cosplay that Mutant Blue does, that Mutant Blue has done for her.
So for those that did not pay attention to what he just said, fans have a say. Name one comic book company that is a mainstream comic book publisher that does that. You can't.
And if they do it, they're doing it the wrong way.
A little bit off now. So
say what? Say the short. Yeah.
Right. So I mean, and that was my whole thing. Like, you can make this your own if you're a cosplayer, and then the creators and the publisher, your creators, listen. Now it might not make it always in, but still, to have the people notice, and this has got to be cool for you as the creator and as the founder and as the brain behind most of this. It has to be cool for you to go, that's my creation. That's I mean, this is awesome. And
it really is. Like, I've come to the man. A lot of people be questioning, like, if folks see me after I say a cosplay, they will question my 13 years in the military, because I'll be all just teary-eyed, like, I thought you were a Marine, I was. But it's just it's something else, man. It's something else. It's something else, And then now that I do these Soverse lives on Instagram, and I guess it's probably going to grow even more with Soverse Sundays, because I want to invite folks on, so y'all will probably be on the show. Invite y'all on, and cosplayers on, and just people want to talk about the characters that they like. It's like now the fandom is growing because people are looking at it and they're like, oh, but what about this? Have you thought about that? What about this? What about these two people together? I'm like, y'all already shipping characters? So it's like it's getting wild. Like, it's crazy. So I love it. Like, I love it so much.
So just to pinpoint something he just said, if you did not catch it, he just announced Soverse Sundays. Mm-hmm. This will be a partnership between Soverse Comics and the Hero Complex, and we will be having Soverse Sundays. Dates will be determine later on. But we will definitely get the word out to you, and you guys need to check this stuff out. I mean, it's
I am so excited about Soverse that Sundays because it started off Soverse Saturdays. I couldn't wait. I cannot wait.
And it's gonna be wild. Like people will figure out soon. They're like, dang, he has no filters, bro. 13 years in the military, my filters gone.
The last thing that we had some technical issues with was golden. I'm almost kind. I'm happy that we didn't make it though, because now we have a team too.
We're probably talking about some of that stuff again. I can almost promise you.
Right, I can almost kind of filter it this time because last time I was just diarrhea.
Just going. I know. It seems like sometimes it's like every time I do a live on Instagram, I gain followers, but then I lose followers. Like, oh, that's how you follow. I'm following. It's okay. Like it's okay. You're entitled to your choice. You're entitled to your decisions. But don't be that person that's like, I knew him. He was small. Never get big. So I'm a Libra. I'll just say that. We petty.
So, in recent days, like as far as like not recently because nobody's been to a con, but give us your weirdest con story.
Okay. When you go to the cons, of course, everybody knows the cons. That's when you see the big characters, Spider-Man's, the Batman, Superman's, the X-Men. I think my weirdest, which in a sense it was a shot to the heart, not even gonna lie. But like, a lot of the kids like to see my characters, like they see the characters and they're like, oh man, what's that, But there was like these group of kids, I will, no, actually I'll say it, group of like kids, so they saw my characters. So of course that lit my eyes, I'm like, oh man, they love it. They were with their grandmother or their mom, I'm not 100% sure. And they're like, can we go over there? We want to see the comics. We want to see the girl with the green afro, which is one of the characters from my time with Orisha Exo. She has this big old green afro. Natural hair color too. Like, yeah, it's her natural hair color. And they can do what I can do. So, but they saw the character and they wanted to see her. Like, they wanted to see the poster. And then, like, I guess she was their grandmother, their mother. I don't know. But she like looked at the table and did like one of those scathing eyes. Like looked, and then she looked at my poster and saw these black characters up there. She was like, and as loud as she possibly could. I mean, people at their tables turned and looked at mine. She was like, I don't know what that is. We ain't going over there. And grabbed the kids and walked off. And everybody looked, and it was weird because it was like people were around my table. It wasn't like I was just sitting there like, please come to my table. Like it was a group of people around my table. We were talking. They were asking questions about Soverse. I was telling them we were just having conversations. Like one of the individuals that were there, I call them they're like my local fans and stuff because they're here in Colorado Springs. And every time I go to an event, they're always there. They're like, hey, when's your next event? It's here. And they're there. And so like one of the dudes, it rubbed him the wrong way. And he just turned around and he was like, well, if you came over here and saw you would know. And everybody just started laughing. I'm like, dude, don't. I'm like, oh man. I didn't think I had a hand swinging for me yet, but but it was something else. It was kind of like it was a shock to the heart because I was like, damn, like not even gonna come to see. But when dude said that, it was like it kind of boosted my morale. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, at least I know that the people who are fans, the people who do read stuff, they're behind it and they love it. They love the stories, they love what I'm telling. And a lot of them will fight for it.
Oh yeah. So as a fan, but I mean, and I'm sure that people in social media, specifically TikTok, have seen it, like especially cosplayers like Jay and Mutant Glue and Teneva, when they get like a disparaging comment and it doesn't take 30 seconds and somebody is already on them and they don't even have to say anything, and it has to be an equivalent reaction from them and you, because you're like, wow, I did not know that I was making this sort of impact when didn't expect it this fast, or you know what I mean. There has to be a disbelief because everybody does it. Like, oh wow, I didn't know you were going to listen to me. As soon as I hit 2,000, I was like, I think you people are crazy. Why do you listen to me? So it's kind of like you're surprised, but you always knew you were good at what you were doing. But it's like a payoff, and that's why we do what we do.
Right.
So especially at a con, because I'm a con person. We were talking about signatures earlier. Like that's the holy grail for some of us. Like Todd McFarlane's signature. So it's a grand stage. So when you have somebody saying that out loud, and then you have one of your friends like, "Yo, what are you doing?
What you doing? What you doing?" You know, like come over here and look at him. You know, like, it was crazy. Like there was that situation, and then that same call, I think it was that same day. I was like, I ain't a religious person, but that day I was like, the devil is a liar. Like, I was like, what is going on today? But it was like another one. What's that? Yeah, you know, it was wild. It was like another black couple. Like the dude saw it, he was like, oh, you know, hand over mouth, looking at it. He's pointing. He's like, yo, and he tells his girlfriend, he's like, see. He's like, we're asking Marvel and DC to give us what we want to look. This dude, look what he's doing. And she just put, no, we ain't going over there. He's like, what? But you said you wanted. No, we ain't going over there. I'm like, okay. I can't force you. Like, I can't force you to give me a chance. But I promise you, if you do, you're gonna like what you read.
Right.
It's gonna help me bring you more. You
And
know.
I've never been to a con. Well, not a comic type con. I've been to brick cons because of my kids' obsession with lit. But am I the only person that will, like, literally, my objective when I go to a Comic Con in the future is to hit the indie tables first? Like,
That's what I did.
That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not like independent publishers, I'll go to like independent artists that aren't doing anything with the major publishers. If they're not known, I want to know about them and I want to know why. Especially if they're good. Because everybody's going to flock over to those tables that are like Jim Starlin, Bob McLeod, Mike Zeck, Neil Adams. Everybody's going to go to their tables. When you get that person that should be working for a major publisher but isn't, as a collector, you get in early. So if you get one of the first signatures, one of the first pieces of art that nobody else has, and then you can be the one when they finally get to where they're going, or like Ty, they do their own company, you can go, I got this back in 2014 when nobody knew about them. It's framed.
Exactly. Like I have friends who were very supportive of my writing when I was in high school and stuff like that. Like one of my friends dropped into my live last night. I've known him since first grade, like forever. And this dude's been seeing me draw and write. And when we used to play with action figures together, I would create a whole world with that. So he's in there, and I told him, I was like, that's my childhood friend. I was like, ask him if you want to know how long I've write. He was like, yeah, he's the writing dude. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, he's the writing guy, because like, that's what I was sitting there. He's like, he's been writing forever, So even his mom was watching the live, and she's just like, man, I remember when he was, but I was just writing, just writing stuff. Like, my parents remember that. People who paid attention to me in school remember that. And so it's like now they're seeing it and they're just like, yeah, we knew that was coming. We didn't know when, but we knew that was coming. And it's the same thing as like we were talking earlier, like just exactly what you said, like you go to those independent ones. And I think a lot of people forget that a lot of these mainstream folks, a lot of these mainstream companies were independent at one point. Marvel and DC both were independent before they made it to where they were. They were just the ones that made it through the suck, because before them it was like Western comics, and then they would have like their genre horror comics or their genre sci-fi comics and then radio stories and stuff like that. And then Marvel and DC, because the radio stories were considered comics. The Sunday morning papers in a sense too. They were those comics. And then Marvel and DC came with their serialized comics and kind of changed the game a little more because they were talking about superheroes instead of westerns, horror, and sci-fi, And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, and the reason why they made it is because people gave them a chance. So, like, if you are not going to give, you might be giving the next DC and Marvel a chance in buying my books, because there's always going to be a man that the mantle's always going to change, whether we want it to or not.
Yeah.
Like, Walmart and Target are the powerhouses now, but it used to be Woolworth and Sears. So, I mean, so.
Well, and then a lot of people forget, like, what I would like to call the godfather of the independent comics was Image Comics.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, man, his name is escaping me. But it was a group of artists that were working for the two major publishers. And then they found out, oh, I don't own my characters. I developed this, but I don't own it. That's unacceptable. So then they just made Image Comics, which birthed Brigade, Youngbloods, Max, Spawn, and he is one of the one of the highest selling comics is Spawn 230, with the 1,400 variants that they came out with that I did not buy. They had that, and just that character alone has birthed so many fans. Yeah, so then you see the evidence of what happens when you go against the grain, and then you say, we don't like this. But that entails, like, just like you said, Sears and Waldorf were the heads, and now it's Walmart and Target. And then you had, in the comic book industry, you had Diamond Distributors, which was the whole distributor, the sole distributor of all comics. And now there's two.
Exactly.
Because of the pandemic, somebody else hopped up and said, hey,
we'll do it.
We'll do it cheaper. And we'll do it at we will ship your books that they won't get damaged.
Yep.
And now
you cut the box open, you won't cut your book.
Exactly. Because
that's like tagline now.
Like Diamond Distributors had like a 45%, 47% damage rate with the books that they would send to retailers. Yeah. It went down to like 26% with Lunar. Yeah. But now it's just DC that Lunar's doing.
Yeah, it's always a paradigm shift. 2020, I think I was telling a lot of people, I was like, 2020 was that paradigm shift.
Oh yeah.
And in a sense, indie comics have risen a lot. A lot of people are jumping over to indie because of the fact that it's just so many different stories. Like, it's all different. You got like literally 100 different type of superhero stories, and none of them will be the same. None of them will be the same. There's no cookie cutter. Even in my universe, even though you have all of these titles that are in my universe, they aren't cookie cutter. Each title is different from the other. So like if you are into space operas and sci-fi, there's the Almost Stigmata. If you're into mechs and sci-fi, there's Risha Exos. If you're into action adventure comedies, there's Stars. If you're into, espionage, action adventure, G.I. Joe meets X-Men, there's Cypher Team. If you're into My Hero Academia, seeing students come into their own because they got powers, they don't know how to use them, they're getting trained to wow. And now I got 4 more titles coming out. Bringing out my first horror title with the Hellfighter, which is pretty much a title about a Harlem Hellfighter who dies on the battlefield, but then he comes back to life on the battlefield. So he's immortal, and he doesn't know why. He's trying to figure that part out about his life.
Yeah,
the cool part about that story is I'm a huge horror head. Like, I'm like Stephen King lover. I watched Hellraiser when I was when I shouldn't have been watching Hellraiser. Like, kids were like, I'm scared of scary movies. I'm like, show me. Like, I want to see it. So like, this story is going to have that Hellraiser element, that Blade feel to it, because it's going to have a team of hunters, because something happens and it's like I'll tell you what happens. Pretty much what happens is like, he goes through this whole life of soul searching and finding himself and trying to figure out why he did not die on that battlefield. He thinks about coming back to America, but then he sees how the Harlem Hellfighters were treated when they went back. And so he's like, nope, not going back. So he stays in Europe, but he's watching the whole time. Eventually around, 2030, 2040, he's like, okay, I'm going to go back. He goes back, he meets a woman who is a Xena or a Phenosapien, which that's what I call mutants in my universe. So she's empathic, but she's also, she can read minds and stuff like that. So she gets a feeling from him, and she's just looking at him, she's like, who do you say you are? Who are you? And so they start talking, and eventually fall in love. Start a family. He ends up working for the FBI doing missing kids type stuff because people were kidnapping Xenas and Phenosapien children and regular children. He gets put on a case, where the individuals who were kidnapping these kids are using these kids for sacrificial, you know, they're just killing them off for sacrificial stuff.
Yeah.
But what he does is he's getting too close to it, and these people know what they're doing, so they actually summon a demon and send this demon after him to kill him. And when they do, they don't kill him. The demon doesn't kill him because the demon knows who he is, because when he was stuck in this limbo, when he didn't die, he was seen by both heaven and hell, heaven and hell. So they know him. Instead, that demon goes and possesses his daughter. So whenever he goes home, the lights are off. It's cold in the house, all those spooky things. But to him, he's like, okay, this is weird. What's going on? He ends up going to his daughter's room. And when he goes in there, of course, it's just the moonlight shining through. So it's just, he sees silhouettes, they can hear sounds. But what it sounds like when a dog is like looking at its water, lapping its water and stuff like that. That's what he hears. He hears that. And then he hears like something ripping. And so it's just a perfect shine. And he sees like his daughter like over his wife. And when he walks around, he sees that his daughter is eating his wife. So he ends up just throwing her off of him. He's like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's going on? And his wife's dead. And then that's when the demon starts talking to him through his daughter, So you get that part in it too. Like I said, I'm big in horror. Like I'm a no holds barred part in this story.
Look,
so,
you told me this on the last interview,
yes,
and I heard it again, and I'm still like, what happened?
What's going on? That's the same as what you had last time too.
I'm so.
Yeah, well, he said the title is.
This was going to be a graphic novel, so it's going to be one of my first graphic novels. So he's seeing this, and the demon starts talking to him, and like I have this write up for it, like the things that this demon is saying to him. But like one of the things that really caught me and kind of shivered me all the way down to my spine, because he starts praying. The demon's like, "Who you praying to?" It's like, you think God's still here after what y'all did to his son? You think he's gonna stick around? Like, would you forgive somebody that killed your kid? He was like, here, I'll show you. You're not gonna forgive me because you gotta kill him. You're gonna have to kill your daughter to get me out of her. And so he ends up having to kill his daughter just to get the demon out of her. And of course, he doesn't forgive the demon. So his whole life after that is hunting this demon down, and hunting down any type of supernatural being that's in the way. So,
I not wait.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, I'm not all about that. I just gotta say all over.
It's cool because when that happens, like he opens up another power, he starts figuring out more. He figures out he can see through the veil. Because it kind of has a Dante feel to it too, because when this happens, he sees through the veil, and he sees this demon ferrying off the souls of his wife and his daughter, and the demon just looks back and he's like, if you want him, come get him. And pretty much just ferries them off the hill. And so like he burns down the house. He doesn't die, of course, but he burns in the house with it, but then he comes back. So it was almost like it was a significant moment for him. He's coming back a different person. He's burning away everything else and coming back just as vengeance, to find this demon and to get his wife and his daughter's soul where they need to be, which is in hell. So,
let me tell you how.
Interesting story.
Somebody commented, I'm scared just listening to this little piece. Will there be a non-scary version?
No. Like I said, I love horror, man. Horror is my stuff. So when I do it, it's gonna be great. I'm like, it's gonna have old monsters in it too. So I'm like, there's gonna be a ghost, witch, vampire, werewolf. Like his team, like one of the first individuals he ends up meeting is a priest. And this priest he's a dope dude. He's a Mexican dude. He was a Catholic priest, but he was also over the exorcism part. But they said he was too extreme with his exorcism, so they pretty much sent him somewhere where they were like, hey, you're just off the map, go over here. Excommunicate, you're over here. We're not dealing with that anymore. But this dude knows how to make holy weapons and things like that, so he pretty much is seeing him and everything. He's following him, and they end up hooking up. He ends up making him these 2 pistols, these 6-shooters called Saint and Sinner. So it's gonna be dope.
So just real quick, I've had people pop in. I've had people pop into my TikTok, and if you're just joining us, me and TT of the Hero Complex have Tyrone Jackson of the Soverse, comic publisher and company, and he is just describing a book that he is writing, and he will be releasing.
This year.
So stay tuned. We also, sorry Jay, we also have a guest host.
Yeah, don't forget Jay.
Jay Stowe the Tiger.
Because I think Jay was looking like, oh, I got another character cosplay.
Right.
Jay Stowe the Tiger, aka, according to Teneva, Lex Luthor.
I know my next cosplay now.
So stay tuned for everything. Stay in here. We're on Twitch right now under Quantum Traveler 1. And Diamond Charms is who is asking questions about you, Ty. And it's Soverse on TikTok. That's Soverse. And then Salmon Comics on TikTok, right? Okay.
Let me go look and make sure. I'm pretty sure it is. And on Instagram too, Sovereign Comics.
Okay. So on Instagram and TikTok, it's Sovereign Comics. And it has an orange lion head. You can't miss it. You find them there. You can find them everywhere. Because you're mostly on TikTok and Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
And then I have that link.sovereign comics, which is link.sovereigncomics.com, which is in my bio, so it'll take you to all the other spots that I have too.
Okay. So yes.
If you got about that story, you can also find him in Comixology. If you want to get a digital version right now and check out what's going on, like he's literally.
And just started recently. Did you not just start advertising on a major streaming platform?
Yeah, I'm going to be advertising here on Hulu. Making steps, making strides.
Yeah.
So, they came back and I was like, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? They're going to say no. They came back and was like, thank you, sure. You're welcome to Hulu. Oh, okay. Oh, man. I can't be doing because I know how I make my own videos and stuff like that. I'm like, I can't go to Hulu with that. So I have a friend, he's a former like me, and he actually went to college for cinematography and directing and stuff like that. So he's gonna help me do some commercials and stuff. So
okay, but it's gonna help you make this horror comic into a movie. Because if that,
we've talked about that. Yeah, we've talked about that because there's like some individuals who I have in mind who are already in the world that I feel like, not in the world, in the movie industry, that I feel like would do my stories justice. Zack Snyder is one of them. I know a lot of people are mad at him because he destroyed DC, but I'm like, if he got a hold of Sovereign Comics,
he would be perfect.
Oh my God, he got a hold of Sovereign Comics. Oh my God, I'm just like, hey, you're a master at that. If you have questions, I'm here. But yeah, if he got a hold of Sovereign Comics, it'd be crazy.
Well, and that's
because he does forward too. So I mean.
That's actually easy to do because now you see like Marvel and DC are in the movies. Mm-hmm. DC's on the CW. They have their shows on HBO Max. You see more independent shows being optioned.
Yeah.
Like independent comic shows being optioned. Something's Killing the Children. A Walk Through Hell. These are all independent comics. And then you have shows that nobody knows that was a comic.
Yeah.
Snowpiercer. Yeah. That was a comic. Yeah. History of Violence. That was a comic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows that people are like, oh, that's a great action movie. Actually, kind of like Sheldon on the Big Bang Theory. Fun fact, that was a comic.
Old Guard, for instance. The Old Guard was a comic.
Yep.
That was a comic also. People still to this day don't even know Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a comic.
Or Transformers.
Or Transformers. Or G.I. Joe, which actually they were action figure.
Yeah, they started as toys.
Cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The comic world is so small. I'm glad that we're finally making an integration into the movie industry because people still think the Black Panther was the first black superhero to come to a movie screen. And I'm like,
Blade.
Yeah, I know about Blade. And they forget about two of my men from the 90s. Man and Blake Man.
Yep.
Blake Man was dope though. Blake Man was dope. I love Blake Man. Meteor Man was dope, but Blake Man was dope.
Right. But it said Spawn. Absolutely.
Yeah, Spawn. Exactly. Right. How do you forget that Spawn is a black man? And Todd McFarlane will tell you straight up, Spawn, I made Spawn a black man. I didn't change him to a black man. He's always been a black man. And Spawn's wife, Wanda, is based off of Todd's wife.
Right. It's just, I'm glad that we're finally making that turn over into the cinematic world, because now it's a way for us to see other people's perception of the comic. Because we all know just the director's freaking translation of the book into a movie, right? So then that opens up conversations and brings more light to the dopest fantasy world. Meteor Man.
Yeah.
She said Meteor Man was better than Blake Man, in my opinion.
What? Oh, okay. Who said that?
Bring factors back away.
What?
Bring factors back away slow. I read his name all wrong.
But yeah, J5, the emotion that he had when he lost J5. Come on.
Look,
I'm kind of crazy. He went full. That was his Batman Death Alley scene right there. So that's what that was. He lost his parents.
So, quick question for.
That's probably they like it because of the Golden Lords.
Yeah, the Golden Lords, yeah.
So I got a quick question for Jay. As a cosplayer, and as a person that is a coordinator of African American nerddom and the blurred community, what does it mean when you see a smaller publisher that is, when you see people like Black Sands and Summer Comics and so on and so forth, what does that mean for you as a cosplayer? Because you don't have to cosplay the regular characters. So what is your perception on it?
Plain and simple, like a kid in a candy store. Like, just to keep it very simple. It's like, now you have all these different characters and you just like, I want to do this. Like Tuskegee was the first one that basically came to mind. I was just like, yeah, I want to do that. Like, before Chris came to me and was like, you should do it. I was like, I was already thinking about it. But like now, it's like hearing like him doing the horror, I'm just like, what is
right.
Because like horror is my number one. Like, I love horror. Like with Freddy, Jason, all the hitters. Like even like the ones that like in black and white. Like when Godzilla was considered horror back then. That time.
That's hilarious to me. I did not know that until I did not know that. I had characterized it as sci-fi for some reason, but then I was looking something up and he was in the horror section. And I was like,
yeah, I think he went to sci-fi. I think it was like the late 60s or 70s, and then they tried to go this weird comedic sci-fi route, but
we ain't gonna talk about that.
Well, another fun fact.
Just as a cosplayer now, daily I get notes that people's intent. They get inspired by me by doing these different cosplays. Like the recent one I just did was Superman, and like people were just like gravitating to it. Like, whoa, you're Superman. Like they don't just see me as Jay. Like you're Superman, and I'm just like, okay. And then like I want to do cosplay, and I'm just like, go for it. Like that's like my number one thing. I'm just like, go for it, and let your imagination go wild.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then plus I'm definitely trying to put everybody on Soverse Comics as much as I can. Like the other day, I told my little brother, I said, look, as soon as I get the money, I'm about to buy the whole collection, and we just gonna power through.
Yo, it's amazing. My oldest, I didn't get to read it. I got it in the mail from the thing, and my oldest kept walking by because I had him on my dresser because I was gonna read him. He just kept walking by like, Mom, I haven't read him yet because I wouldn't let him touch him. Until I was like, I first. He was like, Mom, but like, did you read any of them? Have you like opened it? Can I at least read the first 2 pages? Like he was in here wilding out, like, please, Mom, please. And then I started reading them. And then Phoenix wanted to get in, and I was like, maybe not yet. And then,
Find one for you.
right, then you dropped a lesson on me last interview that you were coming out with what now?
Oh yeah, that's Sovereign Cubs. Yeah, that's gonna be my section that has kids comics in it.
I'm so excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's coming too.
That's awesome.
Totally.
I love it.
Yeah. I got some dope titles. I actually have the one title I'm looking forward to, which is probably gonna be the first one that comes out for Sovereign Cubs. Like, who all remembers Goosebumps?
Everybody.
Yeah, so it's called it's a title called Monster Brigade. That's pretty much what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like Codename Kids Next Door. Y'all remember that movie Little Monsters?
Yes.
I think it was fresh. Yeah, so it's gonna be Codename Kids Next Door meets Little Monsters, pretty much, and that's what it's gonna be.
Oh, that would be cool.
For kids.
Yeah,
So
That'll be
it's
cool.
gonna be a mild horror. It's not gonna be like a horror. So whoever said they couldn't read the Hellfire, there you go. You'll have the Monster Brigade.
We've got Coco Melon comics.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm super excited about Sovereign Cubs. I think I'm that auntie that buys the kids like savings bonds or books.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to start shipping a little.
Glad.
That term an embarrassment. I'm glad it's in that part.
Auntie Gladys. So Taneva made a comment on the Twitch, and I think this was directed towards Jay or just her perception, and she says, "Don't you love when they call you that character and not the black version of that character?"
Yes.
I rather that than anything, and it makes me so happy.
Right.
Absolutely. I cannot. I mean, especially when you do anime characters. Oh my goodness. Because I recently did All Might from My Hero Academia, and going back to what you were saying, Josh, about like how like people who were fans of your work like defending you, because I only had one person that actually came and said, "Oh, it's the Black All Might," and immediately they shut that down real quick.
Okay.
Like, it's All Might. Like, it's not Black All Might, it's just All Might.
All Might, exactly.
But like everybody else that's just comments on that, like, "Oh my God, it's such and such, whatever character I'm playing." Like the fact that I play a tiger, they don't say it's the Black Shere Khan, they just say it's Shere Khan.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, it's a wonderful feeling. I love it, and it just keeps me going.
Well, that's the togetherness of the community, which is why there's one episode where I brought out on the podcast pre-TT becoming when I was doing it by myself and sounding like an old history teacher. The title of it was the community is bigger than the industry, and what it was I was basically characterizing or just reporting on how the whole community came together when the pandemic first started. I think we lost over 300 stores in America that were independents, and they weren't utilizing the online presence because their in-store presence was much higher, so they didn't need to. Then you had people like Donnie Cates, who's an artist, Kevin Smith, Jim Lee. They paid entire pull lists of every customer at certain stores, so that way the stores could stay afloat and the customers could still get their books and have this escape during this time. They started a retailer relief fund, so on and so forth. And then and that kept the business alive, so then it let people like Ty continue to do what he loves and continue to deliver these stories to the people that want them. And then you have us fans and like myself, collectors, that this is all we got. We don't have any other vice. And I've told you to at the time, I'm pretty sure you heard me in the family chat, like, this is an addiction for me. And it's about the only thing I can do that takes me away from my regular life, my work and everything else. So,
and it's funny you said too about that one part about taking you away from it. Like, that's what I've always saw comics as an escape, because I was one of those comic readers, like everybody calls us hipsters and stuff. We say this, but like I was reading comics when comics would get you stuff through your locker.
Speaking from experience.
So like I used to get picked on, for doing something like that, but it was my escape. My escape to a world where, the good one and things like that. So that's one of the things that I do like to translate into my stories. Because I do know, like, I've actually had one person who got into a long conversation, This person was white. They actually bought a lot of my. They bought, I think, first issue of Cypher Team and Yellow Stigmata. So they're waiting on issue 2 of Yellow Stigmata right now, but they came back and brought the second issue of Cypher Team and Typical High. And one of the questions they were asking, they were like, well, because of the world that we live in right now, they were like, is it a preachy comic? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, is it a white man bad comic? I'm like, oh. No, like I don't write comics like that. I write story. Like I've been writing since I was in the first grade. I'm like, my characters are black because that's what I've always done. I did that before. It was, hey, let's do this. I've always done that. Like I've been writing since the 90s. Even my teachers were like, they would ask my mom, I noticed, like, what are y'all teaching in the homes? I noticed, like, all of his characters are black. All the main characters are black. It doesn't mean I don't have white characters. It's just all my mains were always black. And then, like, of course, they have white friends because I have white friends, I have Asian friends, Latino friends, whatever. That's just the dynamic that went into my stories because that was the life that I lived, So I bring that to mind, and I always concentrate on story first. Like, I'm here to tell you a story. Now, will there be political stuff in the story? Yes, there will be, because that is life. Will there be racist parts? Yes, there will be, because that is life. Do I have characters in the Sovereign Comics universe that are part of the LGBTQIA community? Hell yes, because that is life. Like, for instance, and I told Geneva in the chat that I'm going to talk to her about this later because I do need to figure out how I'm going to go with this because there's the character that she cosplays comes to a point in her life where she's trying to figure something out because her student that she trained, which is Sarah, she's in Cypher Team issue 1, aka Recoil, is madly in love with her, and she finds out about it later because Sarah is lesbian. But people don't know this because they're like, why are no one swinging rainbow flags on the cover? I'm like, hey, they're there. Let me tell their story first, so that when you read their story, you are that much more connected to it. It's not surface level. You're that much more connected to it. Just like in Temple High, like I have one of the characters, he's bi. Another character is bi. One of the characters is actually going to start going through a transition, sexual transition from male to female. The stories are there. The characters are there. The stuff is there. But I want to tell the story so that you become connected and invested in that character instead of just, okay, I got my fill, I'm done. I want you to come back and like, damn, wow, what happens next? So, and that's what I want to do because, like, and it's kind of whenever I plan on bringing up that other part with Kunoichi, between Kunoichi and Recoil, when I bring that up, Kunoichi's actually going to be going through something because she ends up getting out of a relationship where. Because she doesn't usually date, which is to me this is the reason why I want to talk to you about this. Because she doesn't date, she's mission driven. Because her backstory, her family was pretty much wiped out. But no one could find her sister, but her family was wiped out. They were like the top ninja clan in Japan. There's other ninja clans. They're trying to figure out. She's trying to figure out who killed her family. Her sister is missing, her little sister. She doesn't know where her little sister is. So that's where she's on. That's where at the moment she's kind of ruthless. Like she will murder you. She does not care. She's on the path. Like she's like, hey, this is the path I'm going. You're not going to get me off this. She's not thinking about relationships. She's not thinking about love. She's not thinking about none of that else right now. But there's a character that I bring into the Soverse. He's kind of sitting on the back burner, and I'll drop this nugget here because maybe this will get people into it. But his name that he goes by is Alucard, and everybody knows what Alucard spells backwards. So that's the name that he goes by, right? Now this is the thing. This is the thing that I did that makes him different in the Soverse. He was the first phenosapian because the way humanity got these what they call the phenogenes, the way they were activated. I have the gods in my universe. The gods are the zodiac. So Sagittarius, Libra, Virgo, Scorpio, Osiphus, all of their, like Osiphus is the top, Sagittarius, and then you have the others. They're the gods of the Soverse, where they're first level of gods, and then you have other god tiers too. So Sagittarius came down because there was a certain species coming from the constellation that Aries runs, pretty much.
was coming to Earth to take out the entire planet because this planet wasn't restarted when the rest of the universe was restarted. So like in the Soverse, this is their pretty much their fifth reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'll explain the other part more because it gets so in-depth. Like there's so much stuff. But Sagittarius, he goes down. He's like, I'm not gonna let this planet be wiped out. So he goes down and he pretty much disguises himself as a leopard. And this is like during those days, like the old olden days, like when Jesus walked the earth, you know. Disguise himself as a leopard, disguise himself as a poor man, disguise himself as a mortal, all of this other stuff to see who had the kindness in their heart to help him. And whoever helped him, he would touch them and unlock their phenotype. So this character, Alucard, was the first phenotype because all the rest of them had stayed dormant. His was the first one to wake up. He does have blood control. And that's where all the stories of Dracula and vampires and things like that came from in the Soverse. Because when he would use that to control you, if he controlled you, you would get a thirst for blood. He never had a thirst for blood, but he would control you and then you would get that thirst for blood and stuff like that. But he can control you by your blood, amp himself up through his blood, like do all sorts of stuff, you know. So he's dope. He's dope, but he wants to know more about Temple. So what he ends up doing is he controls Kunoichi, but he starts falling for her. So he lets his control. And then she starts falling for him. But when she finds out what he did, they go at it. Like that's a big fight. Like you start seeing stuff that Kunoichi ain't never showed the world. Like they start going at it. It's like a big old fight. And then later, you know, Rico kind of comes at her and tells her how she feels, you know. But it's like this ain't the time for that, you know. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I got love in there too. Like so I know it's so I don't know. Like I put love stories in my stuff. Like there's so much. It's not just superheroes. It's a deep, deep universe. You know,
you are dead on with Neva playing. Absolutely, they would rock you. But did anybody else's mind start scanning the cosplay world? See who?
I went straight nerd. I definitely went straight nerd because
saw it on face. We were nerd.
Because when he started talking about Alucard and how he doesn't have the bloodthirst. I'm science minded, so when he said if he bites you, then you have the bloodthirst. So it's like, is that because it's diminished? Is that because it's diluted? Why? I'm going to read this book because I want to figure this out. Yeah, I want to know.
So when he's controlling you by your blood, he's pretty much absorbing your blood. So in order for you to replenish your blood, you have to drink.
So that's where my brain went, was the story. And I just wanted to touch on one thing is like, that's why I've seen a lot of other smaller publishers, but one of the reasons before we became friends that I latched onto yours when Mutant Glue like, hey, go follow this creator, is because if you've been reading comics for as long as most of us have been, and you sit there and say comics are not political, you're lying. You have not been paying attention. But the way that the major publishers and yourself have done it is you still tie it into art. Still reflects life, but it's still about the story. It's still about the story. It's still about the character development and not the issue at hand. And that's the kind of writing that, as you can see it on my face, I get excited about, because you're still letting the characters develop like real people. You're not like just focused on what they're dealing with.
Yeah, like I'm not, and that's the thing. That's like my biggest goal. Like that I want to do with some comics. Like I want to tell those things that are ailing, you know, society, but I want to tell the story first, because I'm a writer at heart. That's me. Like Cypher Team, for instance, I had people say, "Well, are you talking about social justice stuff? Have you read Cypher Team issue 1? Like it's literally a riot starts from racism."
Right.
But it's the story first. You know, there's a little girl who's about to get blasted away. She's in her hands up. Please don't shoot me. You know, about to get blasted away. But you kind of fall away into it. And I've had people come back and be like, yo, that was so awesome. And then they look back at it and they're like, yo, I see what you did there. It's like, it's in the story. Just like I'm going to stick my issue 2. Brett, you know, me and him do the Any Comics Dispatch podcast.
And he read Animal Stigmata issue 2 and rated it. He came back and he was like, I see why you stepped away from that. Because I told him, I was like, man, I was writing a story. I was like, I wrote the first 12 pages and I looked back at it and saw what I wrote. And I stepped away from it. Like I had to step and just revamp my mind. You know, because I didn't realize what I was writing until I was writing it. Because I just wanted to tell the story and make the readers feel for her, which they do. People who've seen it, they're like, oh my gosh, I love her. But she's the bad guy. You know, I love her. But it's like, but is she really the bad guy? So then now they're all questioning, like, is she the bad guy? Like, but what she's doing is right, but everyone says she's bad. Like, and I'm like, and that's what a writer is supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to make you ask questions.
Yeah, you're supposed to ask questions. You're supposed to feel torn. You're supposed to be, am I right because I like her? Or am I doing? Like, is this? Like, what's going on? You know, that's what a writer's supposed to make you feel. So whenever I see people like they'll look at movies and stuff, I'm like, you know, I'm split down the middle. I don't like that. No, that's the way you're supposed to be. When you come out of it, you're supposed to be split down the middle. Like, oh damn.
That's how I gauge if I love it.
Yeah.
And if I'm like, okay, then I didn't like it.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
Well, it's just like the characters of in the MCU, Thanos and Killmonger.
mm-hmm.
You
They made
see,
people ask questions.
you see how their methods are. And you might be like, oh, that makes me uncomfortable, but they're right.
Right.
They're right.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's actually reflecting, and especially how you do in the Soverse, it's actually reflecting again. Art is reflecting life because we're not black and white. Our morality is not black and white. It's a whole bunch of gray, and that's where the difficult choices come in.
Right.
And then that's when I say, like, your characters are so identifiable to people because I've had to make some of those same choices. Maybe not on a grander scale as like jumping out of an airplane and going to a fight, but you know,
Which is the dopest part of it. She has no parents. She jumps out halo drop. If you're military, you're on this thing. You know what a halo drop is. Hey, that means high altitude, low open. So that means these jokers jumping from 22,000 feet and up.
no
And
parachute.
then they pull their chute when they're like at 1,000 feet. High altitude, low open. But she doesn't pull the chute.
She just died.
I'll see you later.
It's been real.
Kunoichi is bad. Because like she mentions in the book, she's like, you know, her family has a, and this is the reason why she's torn about. She's like, who could kill her family? Because they have this every ninja family has their own traits, you know, in the Sour Comics universe. Her family, what made them the top is they have what they call Kai hardening. So everybody has their Kai, and the way that I do it in the Sour Comics universe is that any normal human can unlock their Kai, can unlock the chains that surround their Kai. However, they have to be trained, and they have to be mentally and emotionally and physically ready for that, you know. So her family has what's called Kai hardening. So they can take their Kai and put it around their body, and they're pretty much indestructible. Like you're not going to get through it. And that's how she survived. That's how she survived that drop. And then she hit it. And when she hit it, there's like another scene in there. Sarah's like running away with the little girl, and then she looks back and she's like, "Is that a freaking dragon?" Because she doesn't move, and like she brings out a whole tornado, and there's like this dragon spinning around with it. That's all in the new covers. You see when she's jumping. And she's like reaching down, and she has the dragon coming down with her because it's from that panel. It's like an in between of that panel where they're doing that.
So Taniva just messaged. She says, "I'm here to destroy those who took my family." So she's getting into it.
I think that is a explicit yes from Taniva.
And those who are messaging and saying that you hear an echo, you do, because we had technical difficulties and I had to supplement my major mic for my camera mic. So I apologize. It'll be fixed later on. Just we had to get this show out. We had to get the word out about the Soverse and Tyrone.
Cool thing too, I'll go back to Animal Stigmata issue 2. What made me step away is I couldn't really, like at first I was kind of trying to should I tell this person's whole story during issue 2? And then I thought about the beats of comics, you know. You always want to have some type of action in comics, you know, so that people can read it. So I started thinking about the beats of, okay, tell a story and go to action, you know. Not tell it all the way from the beginning to the end. So what made me step away is I started doing time skips, right? And I started looking at the times that I was skipping and they averaged up to 400 years. So
Oh,
there's
you
a
was
certain time. Yeah, there's a certain, and pretty much what she went through was exactly that. What her people went through was exactly that. So them going through that, and then averaging up to those 400 years, when I looked at it, I was like, yo, I gotta step away. I was like, 'cause I wasn't even, I didn't need to do that. Like, I was so entranced in the story and telling her story and thinking about, I want the readers to feel her. I want the readers to be invested in her. That I didn't even realize that I was digging that deep into real life, you know. So something big happens at the end of those years. You know, they finally rise up because they go through evolution. You know, because of the things that they were put through. And the Lapusians, they're rabbits. You know, so it's almost like this predator prey type of story that is telling through that whole time. But then it gets to the point of now the prey. Like you heard the saying, what do you do when the rabbit has the gun? So pretty much that's what it ends up becoming. So now the rabbit has the gun because they have powers. Like she can open portals. You got something that can run fast. You got something that's super strong and can jump really high. All this other stuff. And so then they retaliate. And now I'm not going to tell you how they retaliate towards them, but they retaliate. And this is when she goes on her vendetta because they retaliate, but they keep it secret from the rest of the galaxy. So you have like the Galactic Allegiance, and they don't know if the Galactic Allegiance is keeping it secret, or if this particular planet that is like one of the high levels in the Galactic Allegiance that's keeping it secret from the Galactic Allegiance. So she's going through this whole thing she wants the galaxy now. So then you come to the other part of the story, which is kind of a subplot. Now you have Tuskegee, who is literally a Tuskegee airman, who was transported to the other side of the galaxy during World War II by two fighters. Everybody knows when World War II happened. Everybody knows what black people were going through. Everybody knows that most individuals who were fighting in World War II, their grandparents or either their great-grandparents were born into slavery. So now you have this individual who's hunting her down, who's going to learn her story and then see the similarities. So now what is he going to do about it? So that's where it is. So like I said, if I'm going to tell that type of story, or if I'm going to bring you in or make stuff political or make stuff social, I'm going to have questions from all sides so that every type of reader can read it and still sit there like, huh. I wonder. It's going to make everyone ask questions, you know.
So quick question.
Exactly.
So in the Soverse, it's one whole universe. Is there and I'm asking a question because I do not know. You might have already done it. But just because in my mind I want to see a fight between like Superman and the Incredible Hulk, is there going to be like a crossover with your titles? Is there going to be a
the Saga Comics universe?
Yes. Is there going to be a crossover? And you don't have to give any details because, number one, I'm speaking selfishly, I want to know. But but is there a big event that you are formulating?
Yes. Okay. There is a cross-title event that will be coming. Right now I'm trying to figure out which arc I'm going to have them kick off at. But it's even going to, the only title it's probably not going to include is Orisha Exos, because the way Orisha Exos sits on a separate timeline. So it sits on the timeline that if humanity wouldn't have made the changes that a certain Zenith, who's an Omen, and her name is, they call her Voodoo, but she just goes by that because, you know, scary white businessmen call her Voodoo because she's a black woman. She controls plants and she's like tearing down their old stuff. So they're like, hey, we're a freaking Voodoo child. Like, if you see her, please, for the love of God, leave. You know, because she's not playing. Like, she's an eco-terrorist, pretty much. She's our poison ivy, I guess. Yeah, but she's like, she's dope. I've given her additional stuff that separates her from poison ivy. Like, for instance, she can't make a voodoo doll. She'll drop seeds, and these seeds, the vines from the seeds will grab you, and they will bring, you know, skin particles, hair, whatever, back to her, and then she'll make a plant voodoo doll based off you. She can't control you, whatever she wants to do with that. So she has that power. She also can take plants and turn them. Like, she has a scalp that's a bird, but it's actually a plant. She has another one that's a jaguar that she actually uses in Omen. That's like running around the woods, like killing people, and it's a plant jaguar. So she has her other things that makes her different. But back to the cross title. So Risha Exos isn't going to fall into that because it's way in the future, like way like 2600. But the rest of the titles, yes, they do fall in. Cypher Team issue 3 is going to be kind of it's not going to be the jump off, but it's going to start giving you those droplets of what you can expect in this cross title, because there's a character in Cypher Team issue 3 that is coming back. They think that this character is not there, but this character is on his way back. And the only thing that I'm going to say is when this cross title starts, there's a character in Temple High named Dell who controls gravity. She feels this dude coming before he gets there, because he is bringing an entire moon with him. So Earth is going to have 2 moons by the time this is done. Because he's massive. He controls dark matter. So as he's coming back from the other side of the universe, he's just pulling stuff with him, and he forms his own moon as he goes way back.
So
I did a lot of reading into science. I'm reading all of my comics. I know that's why he's like, oh, nerd.
So, well, there. I'll get back to that one, but the comments. You're not very liked, Jay. Because now they've been talking about your cup. Taneva says you need a bigger cup. Pastor Greg's like, yeah, I was just thinking that cup is tiny.
Ooh, that's
so we might have to have Jay on again, because this is like comic. It gives comic relief to the channel. Anyway,
Exactly.
So,
but Taneva, her name is her real name is Aja, and she's not a villain per se. None of the apostles are, and the apostles are the individuals who are in all. And their whole thing, they're going to be considered evil, they're going to be considered terrorists because of the people that they're going after. But they're going after corrupt individuals. Of course, they're going to be considered all those things. And that's the part that I'm bringing into the story too. Why are they called villains? Because they're going after the individuals with money who control theirs. So they're going to be like, they're villains, they're terrorists, get rid of them. But they're just trying to show the world. Like one of the characters, created by my good friend Will, and his character, she used to be an architect, but she controls, she has these, her code is insurance, so she does seismic control and stuff like that. And the company she was working for was cutting corners, to make their buildings. And she's like, you're doing this wrong. If it was like a 0.5, scale earthquake, this building is going to fall. And they just do whatever they want, so she makes the building fall herself just to show them. She's like, okay, well, I'm not going to let any people die. She uses her powers and drops the building. But of course, they start looking at her like, she's a villain, she's this, she's an evil terrorist. And that's the same way Voodoo is. Voodoo's like, hey, you keep messing up this planet is going to fight back and it's going to destroy you. And that's what happens in the Risha Exos. Like, if you read that title, it talks about how the planet started fighting back. Like, the planet was actually started creating this type of pollen that would poison the food that we ate. So, like, if you eat cows, well, cows are now poisoned, so you eat a steak, you're going to die. So it was like, it was doing all of that stuff. And then even the animals. Yeah, so like, even the animals, like, it was poisoning plants that we ate, poisoning animals we ate, it was changing animals. There was a plant that the earth created that survived off of blood. So if you wandered too close to the forest, it will grab you and eat you. Like, there's all this stuff that the planet started doing because the planet started looking at us like viruses. So you can imagine it was sending out its white blood cells to get rid of the virus, and that's what she was telling people the whole time. Hey, if you don't stop, I communicate with this planet. If you don't stop, she says she's going to fuck you up. Please stop. For the love of everything in the world, just stop. And they were like, no, I'm going to keep drilling on and do what we want to. But like I said, like, there's 2 timelines. So Risha Exos takes place in the timeline where everybody says, no, we're not listening to her. And then you have the main timeline.
Okay.
So Risha Exos is what happens later. They have like even some of the animals, because the DNA just started changing. So now you have the spider monkeys, they started turning green so they could camouflage and hide away from humans. Because since we couldn't eat the things that we wanted to eat, we had to start eating other things. So those things started evolving to stay safe from us. So like the spider monkey fur turned green so they could hide in the trees and stuff like that.
a lot of stuff. I'm a big science head too, so
Yeah.
when I do write my stories, I add a lot of, okay, well, what happened here? You know, how would this affect this? You know, I keep it fantastical, so it's still that awe moment, but there's a lot of science that I put into my stuff and everything. So.
Well, and that's what I was noticing on some of it is that you make it like you said, it's still fantastical, but you make it like borderline plausible, scientifically plausible. Like this could happen. Like the Earth could make it to where it had its own reaction to its survival reaction, fight or flight. Like spider monkeys turning green so they can hide. The plants, like they don't want you in the woods. So
just everybody out here chunky.
Everybody else. It was like there was nothing keeping humans safe. So humans was like, they only had one option. They were like, we gotta freaking leave.
Yeah.
Like the planet doesn't want us anymore. And that's pretty much happened in Mission X. Like they left, but when they left a certain group of people behind. Usually the individuals like normal individuals don't have money.
Yeah.
You know, so in that case, it starts opening up certain people's eyes where people who had their differences, and now they're like, wait a second, I thought. So you're telling me you believe it? Okay, so people start realizing, but the Earth starts healing herself. I mean, the Earth it's never going to be the same, but the Earth starts, because of the population drop, because of the lack of the craziness we're doing. Oxygen starts getting cleaner. It takes back some of the plants that are killing off humans. Some of these animals that came to be that was just their whole focus was just to lay waste to humanity. All of those start dying off and they start going extinct so the planet can live. And then those humans that were left, they kind of come up on their own 2 feet. They start spreading out amongst the solar system. So it's like it's a different world then, because now they aren't using fossil fuels. They're like, hey, concentrate on solar energy. We have the sun. So they start using the things that are natural, and it allows them to actually do those things that we've all talked about, all those scientific breakthroughs. Like, for instance, their mechs have what they call, it's like a solar jump that they do. So whenever they do their work, like they have these kites, they call it a kite system, which I pretty much brought off of, how satellites have the solar kites that go off in front of the satellites, and if the solar energy is what pushes the satellite, pretty much making it go faster than what fuel would. So they have these solar kites, and these solar capacitors are their mechs. So these wings will pop out, it'll absorb the energy, and it forces the space around them to fold so they can get to where they need to go. So like they're using technology, like actual natural technology, and it's making them more advanced than using the fossil fuel crap. So and the planet is better off for it.
Well, in a sense,
so
in a sense, with the planet correcting itself, it corrected humanity. Because a lot of people say they separate themselves, and this is again art reflecting life. We often put ourselves away from or separate from the environment. But what we don't realize is it's an ecosystem, which is just like our nervous system. So we're just as much as part of the environment as everything else. So if it corrects the environment, we're not outside of that environment. We're just another organ in the earthly body. So I like that. I do like that. And that was what I was going to touch on, was like as I was reading some of your titles and then just continuing with the story. Your writing is almost reminiscent of some of the writers that I grew up on, like Jonathan Hickman, Mark Waid, Alan Moore, and it's awesome to see it not in a major company, and it's just like, because I'm a fan of a writer, I'm a fan of art. Yes, I'm a fan of art, but if we've ever talked and you pay attention to some of the titles that I've read. Like Batman White Knight, Sean Gordon Murphy, one of the best recent writers I've ever read. Alan Moore, he'll always be a great. Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, these people are set up in the upper echelons and close to being greats. So, just as a fan to you, dude, your writing is awesome, and it sticks me to the smaller creators. So thank you.
Thank you.
We got questions from.
I gotta spice it up.
I'm always my bros.
They want to know. They said the comment was Tremor is a low-key Quake from Shield, though. So I guess what they want to know is what sets Trimmer apart from Quick.
One of the things that sets them apart, I would say, is their goals. That's one of the major things that sets them apart. Also, one of the things that comes later. One of the things that comes later with Trimmer is she never knew her father. So she finds out who her father is. Trimmer is actually the daughter of Lola. So her father was a Haitian god. And her sister is actually voodoo, but they don't know it. They find out later because they have the same father. So that's another thing that sets her apart. She's a Demite. She's a demigod. So.
Oh!
Oh, did I not mention that? I have the Lola in my comics too. I have the Orisha in my comics. I have the Zodiac. I have the Lola. I have the Egyptian gods. I have Native American god. There is, one Native American tribe, they say that they just disappeared, off the face of the earth. Well, pretty much what ends up happening, they get took into another planet in the Soverse, and one of them actually comes back to Earth. So there's a Native American character.
You just speak past like you didn't say.
Yes. I'm playing with the whole pantheon. I just don't do Greek and Roman only because DC and Marvel have a lot. They have a lockdown on them. Yeah, so I just don't mess with them because of that. So, but yeah, all the other ones. Yeah.
That was so rude. He kept going like me and Roman at the same time.
Just like I know I mentioned Alucard and the way he created like vampires and stuff like that, right? But did I also mention Therian groups? Like we have Therian groups in the Cyber Comics universe. Werewolves, were-tigers, were-lions, were-rats, were-sharks. Actually, there's a were-shark in Temple High.
Yeah, I was going to say there's one.
Yeah, so like, on top of that, I have Atlantis, but Atlantis is on what I'm calling Earth 2. So Atlantis is over there. And then I have the Gorgons. But a lot of people only concentrate on Medusa when they think about Gorgons. But if you read the history behind the Gorgons, there was actually 3 tribes of Gorgons. There was the Sea Tribe, there was the Warrior Tribe, and there was the Mountain Tribe. So the Warrior Tribe was also like the ones who did the farming and stuff like that. The Mountain Tribe did the farming. So the Gorgon that I have that's in Temple High is the homeroom teacher, that Damon's homeroom teacher, but she's also second in command of Cypher Team 2. She's a water Gorgon. She's from the water tribe. So she's a jellyfish, pretty much. So she has like the tentacles of jellyfish and stuff like that. But she's a Gorgon.
All right, we have a TikTok question. How do they get their powers, born or acquired?
So there's a couple different ways in the Cyber Comics universe where people can get their powers. There's, of course, the lovable scientific accident. Those still happens. And 2 characters who I can name right off the top of my head who got their powers from a scientific accident are Penumbra and her little sister. Penumbra is the villain that's in Stars right now. She's a speedster. She has what I call the speed of dark. Her sister, which speed of dark is actually a scientific term that the scientists are debating right now which one's the fastest, the speed of dark or the speed of light. So as I say that, her sister is also a speedster, and she has the speed of light. But right now, the older sister is faster than the younger sister, because the older sister was actually a track star on her way to be an Olympic, to go into the Olympics to represent their country, which the Dominican Republic, that's where they're from, and they have an Olympic team, and she has Soverse. So she wants to represent her country, so she actually knows how to run. Which I've never heard anyone talk about when it comes to speedsters, that they're trained to run. They just go fast, but she's the actual speedster, so if she wants to work you, she will. Without her speed powers. But she can really work you. She knows the form, which makes her faster. So you have those scientific accidents. And then we have the Pheno Sapiens. The Pheno Sapiens are the individuals who are born with their powers. And there's 3 stages of how they get that. I call it blooming, Instead of mutating, I call it blooming. So it's whenever they get their powers, they bloom into who they are. You have the early bloomers who get their powers from, they either were born with it, coming out of the womb. You will see the difference. They have their powers then, or they don't have powers, because there's still some people who don't. Or they'll get their powers at their toddler age. Then you have like the natural bloomers, which they get it around puberty and stuff like that.
And there'll be trigger points, of course, for them, like highly emotional trigger points or things like that. Okay. And then you have the late bloomers and most of the bloomers who get their powers after puberty. So that's kind of how they do that. Like they're born with the gene, but based off of what happens, or the gene might activate early, at a normal time, during puberty or later in life. And then we have our magic users, which there's like, I think there's 12 magic families I think that I have. So the way that they work is they're born into magic. Like it flows in their blood. They use the ley lines a lot to get their magic powers and stuff like that. So they charge different ley lines. They have all these different families. One of the main families uses soul magic, but soul magic is outlawed, so that main family was kind of knocked down, and they're actually from Africa, they're from Nigeria. So there's that too. Then you have the Therian Thorps, the warriors and stuff like that. They are born into that. You have the ninja clans, they're born into that. But for them, they just have the infinite ability to unlock their Kai. And like I said, with the Kai part, any human can do that, as long as they're mentally, physically, and emotionally sound to do that. And are trained to do that, so they know exactly what it is that they're doing, because unlocking your Kai too can kill you if you aren't being trained for it. And then of course you have like the billionaires, the ones who have money and the technical genius to do it. And the crazy part of what I'm doing in the Soverse is even those individuals would be considered a zenith, which is the catch-all. The zenith, if humans are, the horizon, then if you look at the definition of zenith is the point above the horizon. So that's the reason why I came up with the name zenith for individuals who have powers and individuals who are above humanity. So Tony Stark would be considered a zenith in the Summer Comics universe, so bad because not every human can bench press 1,000 pounds or squat 2,000. So he would be considered a zenith in the Summer Comics universe, not a normal human, at their peak physical ability. Because that's still not that much. That's still not that much.
Right.
But so that's how it works. So there's different ways that people can get their powers. So everybody has their own way. There also are individuals who are celestial levels. So they're like descendants of angels or descendants of demons. Like there's the demon twins in Temple High, and their grandmother is Lilith. So there's that too. So
What?
Yeah. So grandmother's Lilith. So there's a lot.
Wait till Mantis Fatal. Wait till I get to Mantis Fatal. When that one starts, you're going to start finding out more about that celestial side of that angel demon side of the Summer Comics universe. When that one starts.
All right, we got a question. Do the late bloomers know that they're actual bloomers? Like, are they expecting their powers, or they just wait one day and something triggers it and realize they have powers?
That's pretty much what happens. Because the thing is, like, because the gene is dormant, no one can really find it. The only thing they can do is test the person who has it. Like, okay, we see the gene. Like, okay, well, you might have this gene in your bloodline. That's really the only thing they can say. So the late bloomers
do the okay.
Yeah, because it's kind of asleep. But with the late bloomers, they don't know, because a lot of late bloomers have gotten tested, and they're just like, oh, you don't have it. And then all of a sudden, now they got powers there. Most of the late bloomers are kind of the more dangerous ones, though, because they're older, so they didn't have the opportunity to grow into their powers or to accept their power. It just happens. And so, like, if you imagine, like, you live in a, like, for instance, I'll maybe mention one of the characters. He hasn't appeared yet, but he will appear. He's a billionaire in Summer Comics universe, but he started off as an NBA player. He was a late bloomer. So he already had his life. He's in the NBA. He's playing. He's the next upcoming star. Like, he's going to be the next LeBron James. He's going to be the next Michael Jordan. Like, he's dope. But he blooms in the middle of the game. so all of a sudden his powers activate, and everybody's like, wait, what? Of course, he goes through a bunch of trials and stuff like that, because like, he knew. He's like, I didn't know. Doctors come like, no, tested. There was no way of him knowing. So he loses a lot of his money with that. But
what brings him back is because and his heart, he's an athlete, so he ends up creating his own sport that I call a solo. So yeah, we have our own sport in the Soverse universe. And he created that so that individuals with powers can still play sports if they want to, because you can't have somebody who, their skin turns to metal and they're out here being a middle linebacker for, the Atlanta Falcons,
Right.
that can't happen. So they have their own sport, for them, and he created that sport, which is, he did it for people like him who still wanted to be athletic but couldn't. And you get to actually see that sport played in Temple High because it's one of the training regimens that they use. And it's pretty dope. It's like a mixture of like soccer, basketball, and capture the flag. Soccer, basketball, capture the flag, and there's a little bit of football in there too. And they have this ball that morphs. So it can morph into a soccer ball, it can morph to a football, it can, whatever they need at that time. And the whole goal is that if they capture the other person's flag, they win, but they can also score both points. And they have these hoops on either side where they can score points. But the difference is the field is pretty much 2.5 to 3 miles. So it's like a huge environment. So they can have this they can have buildings and everything that's stopping them. Because it's teaching them also, if they become heroes, how to navigate this area and get to their point without leaving collateral damage and all this other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff within it. But yeah.
So I had to figure out those positions, man. Luckily, I was an athlete growing up because I was like, how am I going to do these positions?
Like create the whole sport. Create the whole
who does
sport. A tangible one is that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, who does what? The cool part with the capture the flag part, because I know I always question myself. I'm like, capture the flag is pretty easy. Usually you put it on your fastest person that you don't think anyone can catch you. You put it somewhere, but it's still visible. But I'm like, they have powers, so I'm gonna make it to where they can put their flag anywhere they want to. So like, if they have somebody who can phase, like they can put the flag down into the ground and come back up. They can put it into the wall of a building. And it's like, not only are you trying to get to this flag, now you gotta find out where it's at. So it's like you're using all these different brain muscles and stuff like that to try to figure this stuff out while people are attacking you. So it's a training thing, but the actual sport that people are watching, like people love the sport. Like they bet on the sport. I want to do a mini series for it because I do have this team that I made that's like the #1 team in that sport. One of the characters from Temple High is a huge fan of them. So I do want to do a mini series on that sport to kind of explain it a little more and let people see it in action and see how it works and everything. So
right,
it's gonna be fun.
So just because I'm a multifaceted nerd, and you actually have a video game come up, you could section it off and come up with a video game for that sport.
That would be dope.
That would be dope.
That would be super dope. That would be actually.
So we've been on for about an hour and a half. So at this point, I'd like to do closing remarks.
Okay.
TT, you can go first.
Can you drop how people can get your comics? I've got people asking, how do we get these comics? Are they available in Canada? Let's talk about it. How can people get their hands on this wonderful universe that now we're all addicted to and we didn't even know that we needed this addiction in our lives?
So the cool part is we do ship international. Of course, shipping is going to be kind of expensive, especially for outside the U.S., but we do ship internationally because I want people who live out of the countries, if you want the physical copy, I want you to be able to get the physical copy. We also have digitals at our stores, so if you're into digital comics, we have that too. You can also find us on Comixology. If you're trying to go to my store, in my TikTok, if you go to my links, or if you just type into your search window links, links .sovereign comics, SOVEREIGN .com, it'll take you to my link, my link tree and stuff. And if you look up, you'll see Sovereign Comics or Soverse store. If you click on that, it'll take you to my Square store, to where you can buy the comics. Also, this Monday, we have our Kickstarter for Cypher Team Issue 1, because I wanted to find a way to bring that out to people more. So the same thing, if you go to that link, you'll see in there where you can click on it to be notified for when the Kickstarter goes live. So there's that too.
Jay?
Being out already on there. I'm hard to look at.
We have apparel too. We got some hoodies and this shirt. And I want to do more apparel. So yeah, I want to do more apparel because I didn't like a lot of people have been telling me for a long time. Like, yo, just put your comics on a T-shirt. And I'm just like, how? But I've been getting more ideas, so I got some stuff coming.
Like for Temple High, actually, hold on. So there's this hoodie, which I did for Stars.
So my title Stars. There's this hoodie. You notice it has a star on it for Stars. And then on this,
That's not the sleeve. Here we go.
and on this sleeve it says Stars right there. So this is one hoodie that I got custom made from a company for Stars. And when I saw the quality that I got back, I was like, hey, there's this other hoodie I want to do.
Where it's the uniform jackets for Temple High. So that's the next thing that we're working on. So it's going to be a hoodie that's designed like the uniform jackets for Temple High.
I needed them.
So we got a lot of stuff coming to include. I'm working with a friend right now to build an app
That's going to let you find out pretty much your house for Temple High in a sense. So like there's 4 parts. There's espionage and information gathering. There's the powerhouses. There's support. And then there's the regulators. And eventually I'm actually going to have hoodies, like a whole full hoodie, like hoodie and sweatpants that's going to represent one of those. So I'll have one for each class and a Property of t-shirt, which I already have a Temple High Property of t-shirt, but I'm going to do a Property of t-shirt and have those different power classes too. So,
I cannot wait.
Okay.
so those are things coming up for the apparel.
I've never been so excited about from some freaking merch. I tell everybody that I am just a support team, and it's the Soverse support team is dope as hell. I don't know what nobody say.
We have some dope characters like Kunoichi. She's espionage and information gathering. Rhaenys is a regulator. Madame Neutron, and this is just the characters from Cypher Team. Madame Neutron is support, and she has like nuclear abilities, so she's super strong.
Trying to be support.
Yeah.
And then Alchemy and Fire Blade, they're the powerhouses because they have that Jin. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. We also have Jin in our universe, and I'm not talking about the genie from Aladdin. I'm talking about like if you ever watch Wishmaster. The way that dude is, that's how the Jin are in the Soverse Comics universe. And you can capture that. Not everyone, but these people capture them and use them.
Honey, when I tell
As their source. There's a lot of it. There's so much stuff.
I'm so excited about the Soverse. Like,
I would
hey,
do.
look.
So, question for Jay from Teneva.
Oh, Lord. Jeez.
What is your next plot to destroy Superman? And then she says,
all right, here we go.
Her closing remarks are, "We are all amazing, even Jay sometimes." And then she says she needs Kuniachi on a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, I do have a T-shirt plan for her. Like with her mask, I want to do an all-white T-shirt that just has like the aqua parts of her mask showing on it. So that is the next thing that I plan on doing for her.
So there you go. And my closing remarks are, it's awesome to know you personally, but it's awesome to watch you grow as a smaller creator. Being a collector of 30 plus years, it's been rare in my whole hobby, career, I don't know, whole time I've been collecting. So to see a smaller creator like you and a smaller publisher, it's awesome to watch.
Thank you.
And just keep it going, man. You're growing.
I definitely will. I got so much. There's so much story to tell, especially with that cross title. Oh man,
I'm so excited.
And that's not even the first cross title. Like I have 3 or 4 cross titles planned. That's just the first one, not the only one.
So you heard it here first. There's big plans coming for the Soverse, and hopefully, we will deliver it. The Hero Complex, TT and I will deliver it to you.
Oh, you know I'm.
And keep in mind that I just want folks to keep in mind I'm a storyteller, so
I know a lot of people rush to the end. I won't be doing that. I'm a storyteller, so I'm
Jonathan Hickman. Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love it because it's a slow burn and people get irritated.
I'll play. It's gonna be action in there, but I want to tell you a story. So it's one of those ones where you're either invested or you're not. So
there is no not. You're invested.
You have to invest because these aren't like a 6-issue maxi series or anything like that. You're not gonna see a whole bunch in just like 6 or 7 issues. You're gonna see a long, drawn out mythology and not a story.
Right, and then you see that very detailed development of the characters. Like, it's just to see the detailed development of the characters and the environment in general is dope. So, it's definitely worth it. How can they find you on social media?
So, social media, I am on Instagram more than anything. So, you can find me up there, Sovereign Comics, SOVEREIGNCOMICS. Look for the orange lion head. Which actually it's a lion head, but our mascot is not a lion. It's not. It's a. If you look closely, you'll notice that the lion has goat horns. It's a chimera.
So excited!
Look
at Jay!
It's chimera. It's not a lion. So go ahead and drop that information out there. It's a chimera. It's not a lion. Like if you look closely at the logo, you'll see the goat horns coming up like that. Everybody's asking, what's up with your lions? What's up with your lions' fade? Like, what's up with his fade? I'm like, look closer. Like, those are goat horns. And you see, they're like, yo, wait, is that? Yep, it's chimera. So.
Yeah, because now I feel like that. I was just like, oh, yeah.
You see it?
Right. See, I was like, no. I had all the green Tommy. I was looking at her like it was really there. What?
Yep, so if you find that orange lion head, the goat horns. That's us. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. We are also on Twitch because here pretty soon, like we were saying, we're doing lives on Sunday, Soverse Sunday, which is going to be on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Oh, we're also on YouTube, which I'm slowly building that here. I'm going to start doing some more talking about the universe and do some of the longer explanations of characters and stuff like that and have different episodes, make it like an episodic type of deal to tell you more about the Soverse as it builds and grows. Okay. And I'm going to do more on my TikTok too. Like I have some ideas of comics and comedy because sometimes I'm funny, so I like to explore that side. And then we're going to do like the little 60-second 60-second blurbs. So I'll find a full name.
I'm not trying to drop yet another social media platform, but word on the street is if you hop on over to the Clapper, you can do 3-minute videos.
Oh.
3-minute video, which I think would be dope for the cosplay universe. Spread the word. I call it the Clap. That's probably not a good thing. I need to work on it.
It's called the Clap?
It's called the Clapper.
The Clapper?
It's called Clapper.
Am I going to be okay? Am I going to catch anything if I do it?
You might.
Like the clap.
You might. You might. Because you got to go through a sea of gremlins to get to the good side.
Yeah.
I'm just going to leave it there.
That's
the clap?
Yeah.
That sounds about right. That sounds like the clap.
So,
like the clap.
Just to close this out, go search him out. If you are on my TikTok, let me flip this screen right now. Go search out Sovereign Comics. Go search out Sovereign Comics because you have good stories, great characters, and you have creators that listen.
I do listen. I listen to folks.
So,
especially if you're all saying the same.
It would be an investment because right now you have, and this is just being the fan of other comics, you have Marvel regurgitating more stories that they've already done. You got DC rehashing another timeline. This is number 40,015. So if you want to see new stuff, search out Sovereign Comics. Go follow him. Get this new stuff. You will not be disappointed at all.
I just want a universe that's in its infancy.
So
Yep.
if you were afraid to get into comics because you didn't know where to start, like right now,
You're starting.
It,
you're starting.
And if you're a collector, you're getting in early. If you are a collector, you are getting in early.
Can I tell them how? One of the ways how?
Go ahead.
So like one of the ways you get in there early, that Kickstarter that we have going off on Monday for Cypher Team Issue 1, this is the old cover for that.
There's going to be a tier where it gives you the old cover, the new permanent cover, and the variant cover. There will only be 25 more of these sold. After that Kickstarter, that cover disappears forever.
So,
Forever.
if you don't know about comics, and at the Hero Complex, we are all about instructing and educating on comics. That will be a cover that is out of print. I have 3 books in my collection that are out of print that are valued, just those 3 books, $5,000. So, if you want an investment and you are a collector or you want to get into collecting, just to have a book that nobody else has, this is your time.
okay.
Read what Geneva just said. Oh,
I got the old cover, mint condition, and signed.
I'm sorry. Send them back outside, I promise.
I think
I thought I signed them. Look at the bottom. I'm pretty sure I signed them.
it's in
Okay,
silver.
you took the whole thing. I was like, maybe he signed KJ. You were just signed. You signed.
Oh my god. At least she's not coming after me now. But that's all that matters.
That whole heart. I was like,
And that's the thing with the Kickstarter too. If you do that tier, you will get the option to sign it. Like I've had some people tell me, like, I don't want them signed. I'm like, okay, because a lot of these Kickstarters, like this one, Arisha Exos issue 1 and Yamo Stigmata issue 1, I'm gonna do the same thing to them that I'm doing with Cypher Team issue 1. So
no.
if you have those covers signed, that'd be get them graded.
One with your autograph on them because my son has already cracked the other ones open, and now.
That just means you get a signed copy, plus you got reader copies.
Yeah,
All collectors do that.
there you
All
go.
collectors do that.
Phoenix is waiting until I give him the clearance. I'll just buy copies, autographs that I should have had. No worries.
But
Not
as
safe.
always,
Yep.
Ty, you are always welcome back. You are always welcome. You are one of the heroes of the complex. So you are, and I will, there's new stuff coming up for the Hero Complex. So the original heroes could be getting something. Don't know yet. Me and TT got to talk about it. And
We got something to talk about.
yes, we do. We
Build an empire.
we lack on creator meetings just because she's got a life and I got a life and we're busy. We're popular. We get that. We're big deals.
It happens.
It happens.
I'm a big deal,
Yeah,
and my kids need me to cut. That's it. That's all.
But in the future, actually, since Jay is here, I want to open up the anime corner with co-host and guest host Jay Stowe the Tiger. So he will lead the anime section of the Hero Complex.
Oh, snap. Congratulations, Jerry.
With TT being majority knowledge holder on that one, because I don't watch anime. I just read the comic books.
I watch anime.
Don't judge me.
That's another thing too. That's another thing too. I want to tell folks who believe if this is okay. If you are an anime fan, I'm heavy into anime. So there's a lot of things that I do in my story that you will recognize from anime. For instance, flexes. There will be a lot of power. People will be flexing their powers. And then people won't be flexing their powers. Like for instance, when the Dean shows up in Triple High issue 2, like I'm just going to explain her flex. Like she's strong, she's the leader of Cypher Team Sigma. But when she shows up in Triple High issue 2, she snaps her fingers, freezing the entire gym. There's a character in Triple High who is a reptile. So if she gets frozen, she would die, cold-blooded, right? This woman has so much control that she freezes everybody except for her. So,
I love it.
it's flex.
anime talk too. So that might be.
We'll discuss it. We'll discuss
Yeah,
it.
we could.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah. We'll talk about that later because I have another idea coming up the road too. Just gonna say, Sovereign Mangaka.
You know what?
I already have 3 titles that are ready to go in there.
You know, because you out here trying to put me down a whole rabbit hole. This is not how the interviews are supposed to be 45 minutes. 18 hours later, we still talking like you just got home. I'm not doing this with you.
Hey, there is so much in it. That's the reason why That's the reason why I go on every Friday now on Instagram on my lives because there is so much stuff.
Well, we'll have another. We've got the Soverse Sundays, but then we're gonna have another. We're gonna have another episode where it's just all about the Soverse and talking about the Soverse.
Like specific books, because when I tell you that this Soverse can get overwhelming if you try to go in head first. Watch yourself, man.
You can.
And this is the perfect time to start with that Kickstarter because everybody asks me where can I start. I wrote the issue once to where you can start anywhere and then branch out from there.
Mm-hmm.
But Cypher Team is the flagship. So if you want to get a feel of how the world feels a little more, that will also. But you can start with any type.
Right.
Well,
you can lose. They start with stars, of course.
She just came in. I think she was having an issue. She couldn't talk in the chat.
She
I can finally talk.
Because she has reasons.
That's her thing.
That's her thing.
That's crazy because I didn't even know about Sovereign Comics and I saw the cosplays from Sovereign Comics.
People doing
right. Chris put me on the Sovereign Comics, and then Taneva did a cosplay, and I was like, "Excuse me?
Who is that character?" Like even I was like, "What?"
Right? How dare you bring my character to life like this?
I have a surprise for her. That Mutant Glue already told her. Do you already know? Because Mutant Glue is on the cover, the cosplay cover for Stars issue 1.
Yes.
Taneva's going to be the cosplayer for Cypher Team issue 2 on that cover for the that Kickstarter comes. So.
Okay, I'm gonna need a copy of that, and I want your signature and Taneva's signature. Make that happen.
We'll make that happen.
I need 8 copies.
So,
8 copies.
So Jay, once you get Tuskegee, you finish, Jay. We'll talk about that.
I really am, like, because I'm in love with that character, like, so much. I really am.
He's a dope dude.
Oh my gosh.
And anybody's welcome to cosplay my characters. Like, I don't care.
What's the name?
Just let me know. Just tag me. Let me know, and I will share the crap out of it.
Okay, what is the name of the guild for your Soverse cosplayers?
It's called Soverse Cosplayers Guild. If you type in Sovereign Comics, it'll pop up too. But the lion head for that one is purple, and it has SCG embossed into it. So
that man told us the font. Dang. Okay.
Gotta let you know. So you see, that's it right there. He said it was embossed. That's it. Like, he's perfect.
But as always, Ty, it's excellent to see you, and I'm finally glad we actually got a working interview. That way, we can. What? I'm telling people the truth. There's issues. We growing. We like a drunken toddler. We walking into walls.
I didn't forget about Adam and Miles, because I know Adam is going to do Damien, and Miles is doing Kaveh, I think. I think Miles is doing Kaveh, who's the were shark. And then Anubis is doing Daquan. And I'm going to cosplay Rhaenys, because this year is going to be the first year I cosplay. So I'm going to cosplay Rhaenys.
So excited.
See what y'all cosplayers did to me?
I call him Leo J, since you got me every time. I call him on Leo J.
So
you gotta give her that, guys.
I love the cosplay community so much that I'm gonna join the cosplay community. So y'all all did that.
Part 2. You think people would embrace that? I kind of want to do all of them. I feel like that would be dope.
You want to do cosplay too?
Just because It's Taneva's love interest. That's not the reason.
Who, Alucard?
Yes.
Or just Sarah? Uh-oh.
Excuse me? What?
Yeah, just Sarah, Recoil. Yeah, you see her in some tech. She's bad, man. The thing I love about Recoil, I'm heavy in the tech. She has these weapons, these guns, these pistols that will go for her. She's actually a gymnast. She was in the Olympics too. She's from Detroit, and she has these two guns because she's a very good shooter that are voice activated, and they has these orbs on them that allows the ammunition to be changed to whatever she wants to be changed to. So she can go like mass augmenting. She can go to capsules that freeze people. She can go to capsules that electrify people, and then she has a setting where they go lethal. And this is actually a real life round called the CBJ round. She goes to that, but she can change the property of the CBJ round. So whenever in issue 1, she tells me to go incendiary because she's gonna have to shoot some Mexicans. So
question. Because you have these firearms, do you have the weapons maker?
Yes, there is a weapons maker within Temple who does make these weapons for them. Yes.
There is even a character who makes the
Dibs.
suit.
Dibs.
We have our own.
Dibs.
Yeah, we have our own Edna Mode also.
Look now. You gotta stop talking for the FBI knock on your door. You got too much going on.
You got too much.
Where did you get this information? How did you know about our weapons that do that?
Right. Who you been dealing with? Who you been talking to?
All I'm gonna say, Ty.
So you want to be the weapons dude? Got you. He's gonna come up. He's gonna have to look at her weapons. At the end of all this stuff that's going on. So, because the CBJ rounds, they're experimental. So they do mess up her guns a little bit, but they're dope.
Got to work around. She just needs some CLP.
I'm just. It's crazy because when you talk about my lip, play out in either movie form or anime form. Like it varies depending on the story that you tell. Like I can see it in my. I know I can't be the only black right now that can see his stories in either movie form or anime form. Right? Is it just me?
I see it all the time. Like I even have a person that I just connected with. We're about to do some theme songs for each title. So that's another step into the right direction.
Please let me sing one. Please let me sing one.
Well, and we're gonna on that note, we're gonna call it to a close. So, Ty, any closing remarks for the peoples?
Thank you everyone for dropping in. Thank you for hearing about the Soverse. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to cosplay any of my characters, check out my social medias. I don't care. I don't care if you cosplay my characters. We do have a lot of black characters, but there are white cosplayers who cosplay my characters. So cosplay them if you want to.
Well, we don't do that.
So I don't play those games, and if someone says something to you, please let me know.
Check.
I don't play those games. So
we not.
I don't do the body shaming or anything like that. So if someone says something to you, let me know.
We're gonna keep the racism smooth out of Soverse cosplay.
Exactly. Stays out.
So you can find Ty at Sovereign Comics on TikTok. You can find Jay at Jay Stowe the Tiger on TikTok. You can find TT at TT Reacts. And you can find me. You can find TT in 2 spots. At TT Reacts and at the Hero Complex 20. She is also an admin on the Hero Complex channels. You can find me at Quantum Traveler and at the Hero Complex 20. Again, love you guys. Thank you for sticking with us. And stay on your grinds.
Definitely. Thank you.